Okay, this is STACY LAMPKIN with the With Love podcast, and I have.
My name is Rayshawn. My handle is SoFarSoRay on all social media. Y'all can check me out.
Okay, with me today, and we talking about everything today. We're gonna talk about a little bit of everything because that's just the type of conversations that we have. So let's start with like Black masculinity and vulnerability, because I know like some of the clips that I put on my page, like you was commenting on them and like sharing your thoughts. So do you have like any thoughts that are already there based on certain clips?
You say Black masculinity?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
vulnerability.
I guess I'm gonna start off with the Black masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
Society pretty much is appointed to create an assignment far as emasculating a Black man.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that we can go all the way back to like the what is that, the Fred Hampton, the Panthers,
like the Black
and all
Panthers.
of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the way that they made those programs far as coming up with the welfare, eventually it was kind of iterated after they destroyed the Panthers and stuff. They started using it again. You start getting the WIC and the bridge card and all these different things. I think that was an aspect of separating the home.
Mm-hmm.
That eventually led to the whole area of the Black masculinity being attacked.
Mm-hmm.
And the feminine energy or the femininity within the woman being put on the forefront. So it was kind of an exchange for real. They're like, okay, we're gonna remove the Black masculinity out here,
Mm-hmm.
Let the woman find her own individuality. Mm-hmm. Let her get confident in being able to do things and establish them for herself.
Mm-hmm.
While the man over here, the men was either getting drafted or going to war or something like that, mm-hmm. or they was getting locked up. They was either in the street selling drugs or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There was so many different things that was happening to the men.
Right.
And in that exchange, the women were put into the forefront.
Right.
And they had to kind of play those same roles that the men was playing, and they started hopping more into their little masculine bag as well.
Mm-hmm.
So even it started in that area, but I feel like it transitioned and went to the whole aspect of the entertainment industry and the way that they want to put the image up of a Black man. Mm-hmm. You had the gangster role, It started off with a gangster role, but then the gangster role turned into like a gay role. And this was all attack on the masculine. This the attack on the masculine. You got to see it because the world stage, Hollywood uses that a lot, They playing on the world stage. That's a quick way for them to, just fool the masses. It's kind of how they lead, it's the influence. Mm-hmm. So from all the gangster portrayals that they put in the movies, to have, when people growing up and stuff like that, they want to kind of emulate it. Mm-hmm. They want to be like it. Observational learning. They start the next thing you got everybody sagging their pants. Mm-hmm. This was all institutionalized. This was all taught.
Right.
It wasn't just some things we actually had in our culture, mm-hmm. but then it was like, it's what you call a plant. You had plants coming in. You had people coming in and adding little things here and there along the lines. Mm-hmm. Before you know it, you got, the dudes, he sagging his pants. They prison, sagging their pants. Mm-hmm. They getting raped. Gay stuff happening, they putting it in the hip hop industry and the music, and not everybody doing it. It's like all this was leading up to the confusion, mm-hmm. which I think is also a big thing that played on the whole Black masculinity or whatever. See, we got to take out the Black though. I get what you're saying though. You want to point to that direction alone, right? You want to speak on the specific people.
I guess, like for example, if I like put clips out where if I talk about something, naturally Black people are the ones commenting on it. It might be like some white men or something like that, but I do focus on the Black community. I mean, because that's like the community I'm in. Like those are the kids I teach and things like that.
Right. So
it kind of ends up being that. And then I don't know if no other culture of men have been attacked the way that Black men have. So I don't know if it like would apply to them, stuff like that. But I was gonna say too, like because I was just talking about this with somebody else too, like the 3-strike rule, the war on drugs, like all of that stuff played a role too in it. But I wanted to ask you, do you think that has something to do with like y'all vulnerability?
I think
Black
so.
Men?
I think it's all connected, definitely. Mm-hmm. The vulnerability comes from the man. It's definitely tied to the masculinity because, for him, he sees vulnerability as a feminine trait.
Okay, and why is that?
Because that's kind of the protective state and form that the man had to be in, mm-hmm. based on the values within the home, the woman, you know, they always saying women are y'all emotional. The man got to be strong. Man got to go out do this.
So that's
that,
not traditional for a man to be vulnerable.
That's the sad part about it. The only way I feel like it should have been able for him to do so was in the home, when, you know, with your wife and stuff like that. A man felt like he could come to his wife and be open and stuff like that. But how society has been set up along the way, they started to make it where it's like, okay, it's not okay for a man to cry. It's not okay for a man to, you know, be soft, be this, be that, and it kind of passed through through the generations. Before you know it, it's like, okay, you got to be tough as nails. But then what happened when you remove the man out the house and you got these same boys growing up? But like I say, it's a level to it, you know. It's a level to how much you got to hold your ground. You're right. Don't be crying and acting like you know. Don't be sissied out. Don't be weak too much. You got to have some. At a certain point, you got to have some grounding, because you are a man. There's certain things you got to do. So I feel like you gotta have some balance. You gotta put a cap on it for real.
You gotta be taught how to have emotions.
Right.
I feel like that's for men and women though.
Thanks.
Like, not to take away from men, but like even as a woman, I never was taught how to have emotions. So when they call us like so emotional, it'd be like, I don't know what the fuck to do with my emotions when I have them. So I think that's like across the board kind of.
It matters about you having your father and your mother in the home. You know, being around a balance of women and men, so that men understand, like, you have masculine and feminine tendencies just like a woman do. They have both, but it's a time and place for certain things, and then we should all be able to have some type of therapy where we come to, and which should be our family, our circle and stuff like that. And a lot of people, they don't want to be vulnerable because they see vulnerability as a weakness. That's where it's been going now. Vulnerability is seen as a weakness, so you got people going around acting tough. Prime example, you got the YNs of today. Ain't no man around in the house was raising them for real, and a lot of them are really hyper emotional. I ain't gonna say it's the black masculinity. I think the masculinity has been attacked in them. So they really operating out of their emotional aspect, more feminine if anything. Because the masculine, a man in general, I don't want to tie just masculine straight to a man, because I think it's the intention behind it. But the masculine, a man operates out of logic. You know, we logical. We think before we do something. We want to move in logic. The YNs in the street, they moving off emotion. They moving off of how they feel, they hurt, you know. Somebody make them feel bad, their emotions or something like that, switch and boom, boom. They ain't about to fight, they about to go shoot. That's a level of emotion that's gonna bring you all the way to that stage. It takes a level of masculinity to want to squabble with somebody, get your head cracked, get up the next day and keep going about your business without your pride. You know your pride gonna be hurt, but it's like, okay, are you gonna get in the gym and learn to fight? Or are you gonna fight the man again? Or are you gonna go shoot? Usually it's gonna be the one with all that emotional energy that's probably gonna be the one to shoot. That's what it is. It's kind of like, look at the animals in the jungle for real. You know, just look at it. It's a good comparison. I know we not animals, but nature, you can see a lot of nature.
We do see like how we operate based on animals. Like,
you can see a lot of nature. Especially when it comes to that, like I said, that man and that woman, that protection. Especially if you got a family and all of that, the way that things be happening. Don't get me wrong though, the mother in the field, as far as nature go, the mother is always the main protector. You know, she hold it down, but she be in that bubble. The men be out in the world, you know. The lion be out in the world, the king, whoopie whoop, they be out in the world, but the woman, she holding it down like that. So she got to go out in the world now though, if it ain't no man in the home, you know. It's crazy I'm using that analogy to still compare it to animals, but it's in our nature for real. Like, so I can see where the imbalance from the masculine aspects and the feminine aspects is going. I think at the end of the day, feminine is creativity for real. So it's all about what they choosing to do with it and when they choosing to do with it.
So I feel like it's two things to this. The first thing is like, I guess what do we do about like trying to help black men, like, I guess, embrace vulnerability? Because some of the conversations that I've been having lately is like black men are expressing like they don't feel appreciated or loved or understood, or like they can go and talk to nobody about what they're going through. And then if we look at like suicide rates, like black men have the highest suicide rates. So like from my perspective, like talk to us. Like the book that I had just got, that I had made the clip about, like I read the book and I do agree with everything in the book, but I'm just also like, okay, we're grown. Like I'm 32, so I'm like, if I could communicate, you can communicate, because we all have childhood traumas. Like we all like then went through something that gave us some type of wound to where we scared to open up one way or another. But at what point do y'all like either go to therapy or like open up? Like how do we get there?
Like I said, when I spoke on therapy, I think therapy, it starts off within the home, or it starts off within your circle, within your people. You should be able to come, if you got somebody to come to, you should be able to come to somebody that's not going to use and abuse what you lay on them, you know. You might just be you might need a hug, you might need a word of advice, you might need somewhere to stay, lay your head down for the night, you might just need somebody to comfort you in the situation, for real. I think that's where it started, is having that. If you somebody that don't have that at all, then you know, you got to resort to other means. You got to go out in the world and mingle and connect with people.
But you should seek that.
Yeah.
As a man, you should seek that.
Yeah. So
do you personally, do you have like homeboys and stuff that you can go to if you having any like just life problems?
I do.
Okay.
Definitely, I do. I'm one of them type of people that try to really handle and solve my problems though before I, you know, go lay it on people.
I feel like that's what most men do.
Yeah.
But it seems as if it's proving to not be the best thing all the time.
Yeah, that's because a lot of men, they aren't like you say, vulnerable enough. They don't. It seems like a weakness. So a man want to stay strong, so he's gonna do it on his own. There comes a time though where everybody needs somebody.
So that's what it is. It seems like a weakness for y'all.
Everybody I feel like everybody needs somebody.
Right,
it shouldn't be a weakness. Me, I see vulnerability as a strength.
Right.
I think it's strength in being vulnerable. You know, because when you're vulnerable, you know yourself, and you are able to connect with other people. If you need somebody, understand that it's humane. Right. You're a human at the end of the day.
Right.
You ain't gonna get everything together all the time, you know. Otherwise, you're just gonna have a lot of weight on your back. It's gonna become a problem later on. You be somebody that be depressed or ducked off by yourself somewhere.
So, what role does a woman play? Like if they're in a relationship, what role does she play in, I guess, being able to like sense when he's going through something, or just, I don't know, being like a support for him?
I mean, it starts with communication. They got to make sure they got a communicative type of relationship where, you know, they know each other. That dynamic is there. He know when there's something wrong with her. She know when there's something wrong with him. And I mean, she's supposed to support him along the way. She's supposed to support him. That can be simply listening to him talk. And that's one major problem is men don't feel like nobody listens to them when they talk. You know, I don't feel like they, because I guess some of the women they deal with, it be all about their world.
So what do they think women be doing?
World. I just think, I don't know. I guess men, I'm just going based on what I see. Maybe some women see themselves where the world revolves around them in a situation where
I can see that.
Maybe that's a possibility, you know. I can't speak for everybody, but it could be that way. I just feel like the communication has to be there where two people come together and she have an ear and she listen. I've definitely dealt with some women where all they do is talk about them, where they talk, and they don't really listen. That's an important trait to have, is be somebody that can listen, you know, not just hear what's coming out, but actually receive it. Right. Because once you receive it, you can take it in and you know what you can do with it, you know. So men need that. They need a support system that can listen, so they can speak. We too busy doing action. We trying to be on action time, you know. But then it comes time where we need to speak, just so we can have a what's the word I'm looking for? Just so we can have a confirmation on what it is we want to do or how we feeling. You know, the action and before we carry it out. Because like I say, once again, logic. You want to think about it before you do it. And what's better than going to your girl for a second clarification? You know, rather it be a business decision. Your emotions on how you want to handle a situation. Might be something in the street, somebody, you know, led you the wrong way. Many different things for real. But that's what's needed. The woman should be there to communicate. The woman should be there simply for the physical aspect. from rather it's intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a man just need that intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Hugs, kisses, you know,
Mm-hmm.
good job. He might need a woman just to give him that little temporary ego boost.
Mm-hmm.
Let him know he's been doing good or something like that. Because he already went out in the world and the whole world and tried to destroy him and tell him how bad he is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they just got to open up and listen. Tell him a little something good.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, shoot, the man just needs some head or some coochie. Yeah.
I feel like that's all y'all be saying y'all need.
No, I
guess what you're saying is like y'all need a safe space.
Yeah, because I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, no, the head and the coochie ain't gonna always do it, you know.
Yeah,
Because you can't be somebody that's all you offer for real.
Because you can get that from any woman. So.
Then now you missing out on the value.
Right.
That's all you bring to the table when it's out here everywhere.
Right.
He gonna go where he can find more than just that.
Right.
You know, so definitely.
I could see that, because I do feel like something that I'm learning is like I was in a safe space in my relationships because I didn't know how to handle my emotions, and I had a lot of anger. So like if I got mad, like I would like lash out or something like that, and then that's kind of like not being a safe space. And I could see that in other women.
An argument of space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely see that in women. But okay, so a safe space. So women should provide a safe space, and men should start to communicate. And then I think.
And I mean, it goes both ways.
Level of balance.
It goes both ways. It's all about
men gotta have a safe space.
It's all about being equally yoked, you know.
But we care more about our emotions than men. So we're always like advocating for us to have a safe space, and I feel like men aren't really advocating for that.
And that's
like
why,
y'all want it, but y'all aren't like making it black and white. Like
no, we want it because, like I say, the world already at a man's throat. Mm-hmm. You know, you're at a man's throat for the fact that your value is based on so many things that's superficial, like the amount of money you make. You know. Your value based on how you look, your description, whether you black, even if you're not black, just whatever environment you in, your value gonna be based on so many things before people even know what your value is, you know, just because they create and put you into that bubble.
So do you think our community perpetuates the idea that your value is based on those things?
It's been perpetuated and it's been pushed on the masses for a long time. Like I say, you go back to the media, you got to look at the Hollywood, that wine. You got to look at that wine they be waving. That's the first thing that deceive and trick everybody into the ideals of how things should be, how society should be. Look around your neighborhood. When you see somebody got something, certain things, it's the spirit of envy. You know, the spirit of jealousy and envy. Everybody competing with each other, and they feel like they must have this, they must be like that, and that comes from that not only the status symbols, it's just what people expect, the ideals of success. The ideals of success create that type of dynamic, definitely in the people, and in our culture, most definitely. That's why first thing a lot of men do is, you know, you go chase something that you don't really learn. A lot of people don't learn financial literacy before diving into using their finances in so many dumb ways. They don't learn how to keep money, how to multiply money, how to put money in their family pockets, how to get their young ones into the bag and, you know, build the businesses. So when we go out in places like where we at right now, you have your own hood. I was just talking to my homie earlier. I'm like, man, they got Chinatown. They got, you know, it's Dearborn, but we know what Dearborn really is. So every little area,
like Hamtramck.
Every area has their hood. But I'm like, man, I don't see no Nigerianville, no Jamaicanville, no Ethiopianville, no Congoville. Like, I don't see all the little African, Middle East, America, whatever hubs and wherever the people came from, our people came from, whether they was, like I say, American natives, overseas natives, we was in every country. The point is, I don't really see those hubs in this country nowhere, you know?
So I feel like we should start taking like blame and be responsible in our community. You know, for certain things like that. Like, we're like chasing like, you know, the material world and money and work, and we are not like building families no more, which could ultimately like build wealth. My cousin was telling me like about a family that was like a foreign family but the wife like stayed home and raised kids, and I think they had like 5 kids or something like that. But she stayed home and she like raised the kids, and each one of them became like doctors or something successful like that, where they're making like 6 figures, and then all together now they got like just wealth within their family.
I know somebody that did exactly that.
Mm-hmm. But we don't do it. Like, we don't think like that. We don't.
Yeah, our mentality. Yeah, our mentality is we want to grow up quick and be independent. You know, that's where
But part of that too is our home environment be so toxic that we want to get the fuck out of the house.
That's true.
So
that's true.
I think that's a big reason too. Because if we could stay home with our parents, or we could stomach our siblings or something, we could do it, but it'd be too toxic.
Because that's what's going on in the household. You got circumstances such as you got the uncles in the house, you got the children that have been touched,
right?
You got the druggies. You got the family members that's either selling drugs or using it. You got the thieves, the gangbangers. You got the strippers. Like, you got so many of these roles that our community, our culture chose to pursue to get a quick dollar, because they didn't know nothing else, or they didn't have enough confidence and courage to try something real beyond that.
Right.
It goes back to observational learning. They saw somebody else do it. You might have been a young one, like a teenager or a kid growing up, and you seen Money Mitch on the block, pulling up in the nice whips, doing this and that, got the girls, and then you wanted to be like that. Or you know what, you started doing it, or your father was doing it, or your big brother was doing it, and then now you doing it. I think that all ties to the generational curses for real, and habits and cycles as far as in our community go. Seeing something and wanting to do that. Why nobody wanted to aspire to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or in tech, something different. Like, there's so many different things we can do, but everybody chose the same thing. We all want to rap, we all want to play ball, we all want to strip, we all want to do hair and nails, we all want to do this and that. Like, it's all the same stuff for real. And don't get me wrong, I advocate for doing what you love. Do what you love, and do it to the degree that you can be successful at it. But also don't be oblivious to the fact that understanding what it takes to build up your community.
Right.
We need people in them higher roles for real to build up our community. Otherwise, we're going to keep in people that come to all their businesses to get everything we need. And guess what? Where are they businesses? In our communities.
Right.
And they would not stand without our service, but yet they in our communities.
Most people are individualists, though, is what I've learned. And then our parents and stuff, they didn't have like that mindset. Like, when I was in college, like, I used to hear my classmates like talk about how like their parents told them like they were going to be a doctor or like take a certain route, where like my parents, they just told me I should go to college. Like, they ain't like give me like a route or like this is the degree, or so we don't really have like that leadership or that guidance in our community,
because they never did it.
Right.
They never did it.
So they don't know.
Doing it.
They don't know. I give them grace because they don't know. But like, now that we like are more aware, like, we have to like start cultivating it. I remember I did a poll on Facebook, and I was saying like, I think for women, if we stay home and like learn how to like get a skill or like start a business while we work from home, while the man is out and he take care of home. And I was like, also like, if we spent less money and just temporarily, and all the women was just like, no, I can't do that, or like, it was just all of these different things. But from my experience, what I found is that like having a man take care of all the bills and stuff, and I didn't have to go to work, that allowed me to focus on like my skills and my books and like stuff that I was working on. And I was like, why the fuck don't everybody do this? Like, but
as long as y'all married, that's an important thing to talk about.
We wasn't married, and I wouldn't do that again. Like it was a lesson learned, but I saw like the benefits of that.
Definitely. And
I was like, more people should do it. But I do agree you should be married, because I wouldn't live with nobody else again. I feel like
that's the covenant.
But then that's the next thing. Like, in our community, it used to be like 60-something% marriages.
Right.
Now the shit is like 30-something%. And so I talked about this on another episode that I haven't put out yet. But like, what is it that you think from a male perspective or a black male perspective, why men aren't wanting to get married? Because I'm saying it's y'all. Like women still want to get married. I feel like y'all don't want to get
I
married.
got you. It takes it full circle. We got to go back to where the conversation started. It goes back to the whole masculinity, femininity, the gender roles, the job positions, the empowerment, the entitlement. It goes to all of that.
Everybody say that.
Everything,
like women are too independent.
Yeah, I mean that's a real thing. It was an assignment. This is CIA covert. Like this is a CIA thing. The PSYOP, whatever you want to call it. These are assignments that they literally pushing in the culture. Like you can see it.
So
you see where it started and where it's going.
So I get that because I study history. I don't know how much other people study, but I study.
Right.
But let's look at it from let's say it in like layman's terms.
Small in the.
Why don't y'all want to get married in 2025?
I think men definitely want to get married. Men just at this aspect we are playing it more safe, and also we looking harder. We getting pickier. Okay. You know, we getting pickier because everything we see, we ain't want it. You know, don't get me wrong. I feel like men used to move a certain way, and I think women just took everything that essence of what men was doing and how they was moving, and they started to adapt it. And now it's like you learn the dynamic that men and women are not the same. Although we can come together and be equally yoked, we are not the same because we have specific things that we are to do. You know, so a man on how he moves and his values is different than when a woman come and do some of the things that he's doing. The value in her is going to be changed. Trying to do the same things he's doing.
Right.
And I believe women's expectations for what they believe they're going to get, not knowing that the man is the one that come to them to get, is fathomably out of their mind.
I hear that a lot too.
It's out of their mind in proportion. For example, a woman wants a 6-figure man, right? And she don't make not a smidget toward that. Now it don't matter if she don't make a smidget, right? It's about her entitlement. She can make however much she want to make, whether she don't make enough for that to equate to that, because why would you? You got the man to provide, right? But it's the entitlement to the point that some women think that they have value before really knowing what made them have value. So I think a lot of women don't know their real value. I think
is this like a Kevin Samuels? Not saying like you're talking like Kevin Samuels, but like how he was like, you know, telling women like you gotta like have X, Y, Z or
the simple phrase of what do you bring to the table? Simple phrase, you know, it's the ego. When a woman come and tell you she is the table. I ain't never heard. I mean, do men say that?
So in their defense, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, okay? Because I understand everything. We women, I'm gonna say women, because I don't have children, but women have like played the role of the table of everything for so long, to where when they say that, it's kind of legit because it's like that's what they've been doing, you know. So I do see like a shift in, like, you know, we're millennials, like I see a shift in like the men of our generation, you know, just trying to like be different. Like all of my friends that have kids that are guys, they take care of their kids, you know, versus like the generation before, they was deadbeats.
Right.
So you got to think like women are coming from that. But then I also do know a lot of women who they baby daddy don't take care of their kid. So in a sense, they are the table.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a nice analogy since we're on the table anyway.
Okay.
So imagine this, right? They're the table, huh? Okay, so a man brings the food, right? Put on the table. The table is the foundation, right? The man brought the food into the house. The woman is nurturing. The woman's supposed to take the food and turn it into something more, right? She take the food and turn it into something more. The food now has left the table to come back and be on the table better than it was before. That's what they supposed to do. I don't mean they have to cook.
Partner.
And I'm not talking about having to cook. So we got to stay with the analogy. She transformed what he brought and made it more. But the foundation was still set. The foundation was the table.
That's her outside of ego.
But what I'm saying is,
that's what she would do outside of her ego.
How is she gonna be the table if she's putting the hand? She's the hand that touches the product that comes to the table, and she's not even at the table. She can leave the table and go over there, and the table still gonna be there.
That's outside of ego. A lot of black women are in their ego because they don't have a choice.
You ain't hearing what I'm saying.
I'm not.
We talking foundation.
Right, but I'm talking about women who
the table
have been the table, and they brought the food, and they multiplied.
I mean,
they're doing it all.
She's still not the table.
So who's the table?
She's the provider for the table.
Okay.
The table is not the provider.
Where did the table come from?
The table is the foundation.
Okay, where did it come
from? The foundation is the one that y'all set. The man gonna either set that foundation to build that table by itself. He's still not the table. The table is what hold it together.
So where did the table come from?
The table came from what y'all put in the pot, what y'all built. That's what the table is, the foundation. So the man, that's what I'm saying. The man can come bring the table, but he's still not the table either.
So you're saying nobody's the table.
The table's the foundation.
Okay.
And what you put into it is what's gonna be on it, whether you gonna eat or not. The woman can take from the table and add more to it or transform it, make it a better meal. You know, the woman can take, the man can bring $1 million and put it on his table. The woman can take that $1 million and turn it into $2 million. She just cooked that food. She just made that, he brought the food to the table raw, right? The table's still there. Guess what? Y'all can go broke. The table's still there. The table's still there. It just means y'all got a table, a foundation that's empty. It's an empty, weak foundation, but it's still the table. The woman, not the table.
I can get what you're saying.
The woman is the guide and the assist within the home that brings to the table, brings to the circumstances, brings to the situation that y'all got going on. She's not the table. The table, for her to think she's the table, then she believes she's the foundation. And if she's the foundation, what does the man lie when the man meets you?
So,
a man meets the table.
For women that are like that, what are they supposed to think they are? If they're like they've been doing it all by themselves,
they should think they are
what should they think they are?
That's all on their own time though. When you come in the court and say you meet a man, you are on a new journey. You are on, or whatever you want to call it. You are now creating a new path, right? You're meeting with a man.
So she kind of gotta get rid of a little ego and submit a little bit, and then
it ain't even about submit. That ain't even about submitting. She gotta get the falsehood that's carried in her head and understand that it takes two to build. Now you can be somebody, you don't have, it don't mean you gotta come, if he came $1 million, you gotta come $1 million. It means you gotta understand that you have to come with worth, just like he's coming with worth. Y'all have to both show that y'all have value. You can't just assume you got value. A lot of women think they got value because they got a coochie. Don't get me wrong, coochie, it creates.
I do think everybody has value.
You got the sacred pot that comes out of that cat. Guess what? That cat ain't doing nothing without that pole, right? It ain't me howling to know nothing without that pole, right? Right. No, what you mean that rose? That rose ain't gonna do nothing for it. What's gonna come out of it? Baby gonna come out of it off the rose?
No.
That's my whole point. So when we getting back to value, we understand that. I'm taking it back to the feminine energy, the creative energy. A woman creates. A man comes together, they create. The prime premise of what we do in life as human beings is create, and guess what? It takes two, right? Okay, so it takes two to get this table going so we can have dinner every night, so we can eat good meals. Don't get me wrong, the man gonna do it, he can do it by himself. He gonna do it by himself, just like the woman gonna do it by herself. But in the end,
I don't think those women that are saying like I am the table, I don't think they looking at it from an aspect of like let's come together and build a partnership.
They not. They looking at it as in I am the value.
Right.
I don't have to bring nothing to it because I am the value. What's your value?
But that's their trauma from having to do everything alone.
Or it's some people out here that ain't did nothing at all, and they still came into it that way. They might have seen their moms that way. It could be a fresh start. Yeah, or it could just be a mentality that they seen looking at the world. And one girl get on the internet, I am the table. Everything should be thrown to me. A man should come give me $1 million. A man should whoop. But okay, where is the value in that? And I asked you, this is a genuine question because this is going to let you know like the type of marriage you're going to get in, or if you're never going to be married. Right.
But a lot of women we're taught too, like you don't need a man too. So
that was part of the destruction.
So now, guess what? So now they're looking at it like what I need.
We need each other.
And then a lot of men's value to some women is simply money. So then it's like, if I got my own money, I don't need a man.
Problems.
So
a man dating her body, she dating his pockets.
right.
That's a problem.
Right.
That's a problem. You know.
No, it's definitely a problem.
Yeah, and
I'm just saying, like, these are like the things that I see.
It's another reason why men not marrying. Because, like I say, the dynamic of what people forget what marriage is. Marriage ain't supposed to be no financial agreement. Although, you know, you building financially, you coming together as a unit. And I'm not even talking about government marriage. I'm talking about a real spiritual contract, a consummation between two, you know, a conjoining.
How many people you think look at it like that?
It ain't about me.
All I hear all
it ain't
day,
about me.
Marriage is a business contract. Marriage is
but
like,
see,
nobody's looking at it as a spiritual.
But that's why I'm on my own, walking my own accord, and I'm going to have what's for me.
I'm just saying,
you know?
like, a lot of people aren't seeing it that way.
Well, they need to sit down and look and reflect. But like I say, it's all about what they want. There's a lot of men out here lusting. They marrying women because women look so good, and they gonna marry her. And then guess what? You're gonna get hooked in that thing, and you're gonna find out that whoop-de-woo, and now you somebody who got a bunch of divorces, or now you somebody that got a wife and you cheat. What's the point in getting in that marriage and you just about to be out here cheating because you was lusting after her as if the lust is gonna be fulfilled, and you still about to be lusting after more women after you got her. So the same way for her, you want his money, okay?
And then if he fall off, now you mad and you want to get divorced. My
whole point. So what is it built on? Once again, she ain't the table. The table's still there. The table gonna be there, or it ain't gonna be no table, and that's when it's over. That's the point. It start with a table. So how are you the table if it start with a table? It takes two people to get this table going. Otherwise, you're gonna be at your table by yourself, or you ain't gonna have no table. Being at the table by yourself means you building on your own. You know, being at the table with another person means y'all building up on this table. Y'all bring us food that comes to this boy every day. Now, when there ain't no table, you ain't got no money, you ain't got no relationship, you ain't got no life. That's what it is. So y'all need to know, the table ain't neither one of y'all.
That makes a lot of sense. I never heard it said that way, but that actually does make a lot of sense for like, it's what we're
if we're using analogies and metaphors, whatever you want to call it, or if we're being literal. The table ain't neither one of y'all. Like, it's not the man nor the woman. So I was talking to my friend yesterday, and I was asking him, like, why haven't you got married yet? And he said, I asked him, like, are you scared of marriage? And he said he's not scared of marriage, he's scared of it failing. So do you think that's also something that, like, men are kind of thinking about now, that they didn't have to think about before? I think a lot of men not getting married as well because they still building their lives. I think a lot of men are getting more smart compared to, you know, past things. They seeing the things that's happening in the industries and even on the street level. When you see it, all you do is observe. You know, you look around, and I think men are starting to see, like, dang, these failed marriages, this happening, that's happening. Let me make sure I'm in control of how my life is going. Let me be financially set. Some men want to have all the fun until they're ready to settle down. You know, that's a whole nother conversation within itself, because we got women that out here want to have fun until it's time to settle down, but they don't understand they have a clock. It gets crazy when it comes to that. You know, everybody want to play around and horse around. So at the same time, you got some people that don't have that on their mind at all. They like the pleasures of what they into until they find out and they start all them babies, all them STIs, STDs, all them soul ties, them spiritual contracts, all that start building up. Now you somebody that you can't deal. You know, that's where a lot of these mental issues be coming from. People be connected to too many people for real.
I know, I agree. And the food we eat.
The food we eat.
I kind of look at this kind of like you know how women are having children later, like men are getting married later. So maybe it's just like a shift. It's just period. Has been a shift.
Always gonna be a shift. So definitely. Look what's going on in the other cultures.
It's not a bad thing, I guess.
Right. No, it's good.
In other cultures, they're getting married.
Right. Some are getting married, but what about the cultures that people that's underpopulation?
Like who?
The ones like Asia.
I don't know.
It's crazy because they used to say they were so overly populated, you know. But now they got, I think it was in Japan. Don't quote me because I'm just, I'm trying to remember for real. But I know it was Asia. They had certain areas where it was like population is decreasing. Now I don't know how true it is because media be throwing out numbers and stuff, playing around with census, playing around with this and that. It be all agenda based for real. But when I just look around at what I see, for example, the cultures. Let's always go back to the culture. You see all these people right now, and a lot of them be having their family. And then you come look at our culture. It's a reason, though. It's an attack.
I agree that it's an attack. I agree.
It ain't all just on us. Don't get me wrong. We need to be accountable.
But I think that we should have more, like when you try to have certain conversations, like let's say me and you having this conversation and we put the clip, on social media. People who don't know, like we are genuinely having a conversation, they just gonna come and say a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But they not looking at it like it's a productive conversation. Like sometimes people be telling me like, why are you like rage baiting or stuff like that? And it'd be like, no, I genuinely want to like talk about these things.
That's what it's all about.
Like, I don't know, I'm just passionate about Black families or whatever. But they like nobody is like taking it serious enough to where they think that this is like a genuine conversation we're supposed to be having. They're looking at it like it's men versus women fighting. But it's supposed to be an understanding.
It's men and women understanding.
Right.
It's not a versus. It's a conjoining.
Right.
You might have battling philosophies or viewpoints, perspectives and stuff like that, but it's a conjoining.
Right.
Because we're supposed to combat our differences.
Right.
We don't got to do it in a hostile environment, and aggression and all of that, but we're supposed to speak about it.
Yeah.
It brings awareness. So I'm glad that you're doing this. I like to do this myself.
Yeah, I agree. So let's take it to like legacy building, because I feel like restoring the Black family is like, one step towards like legacy building. I feel like right now it's so crazy because I feel like everybody is just building by themselves. Like you building something, I'm building something, that person building. Like nobody is like coming in and like building together and building a legacy. And then with us not like having marriages and stuff like that, we're just not doing it no more. So
crab in a bucket.
Yeah, it's like the crab in the bucket. So what are your thoughts on that, like legacy building and how it connects to like the Black family?
I mean, it goes back to how it all was before. Mm-hmm. We got to build legacies. That's why I said we got to have businesses and stuff like that. We gotta leave assets behind. Mm-hmm. We gotta take people through correct schooling. Mm-hmm. All curriculums ain't designed for you to succeed for real. A lot of curriculums is designed for you to be a slave, for you to be stuck in a specific position, for you to be a worker for somebody, So legacy building involves us teaching and learning together, teaching and learning together, working together, learning that capital, learning that finance, learning that the financial literacy that's going on and how it's assignments on how we consume on a day-to-day, from programming to what they're showing you on TV, the advertisements, the sales, the everything, the imagery, the look, social media. Is like it all go together for real. As far as us trying to legacy build, we got to start from the ground up. My children be out here, I'm had them working at a young age,
Right. But they gonna be working for what you started.
Exactly. You can be 5, 10, I don't care what you is. You can be 5 years old. I'm gonna show you how to do some kind of work.
But no, they should get started.
Yeah, you
like I be watching videos in China. Them kids be doing all types of stuff. They do not be like at the desk like writing in books or nothing like that. They be building stuff.
And that's the way it should be, because programming at a young age, that's a big topic within itself. Programming at a young age is what's gonna carry over into your adulthood. So if we program ourselves and our children at a young age on how to build wealth, how to invest, and that's the main part is a lot of people is unfamiliar with the territory. Yeah. Everybody don't want to invest in certain things. All they know how to invest in is getting a bag, getting some drugs, or this or that, the same stuff for real. Ain't too many people that want to gamble.
Mindset. Yeah. It's a
not too many people want to gamble on trying to learn like stocks and crypto, real estate. Like I say, getting into tech, getting into different things for real, and investing in different things. They feel like they never either had money or they finally got money or they learn how to keep some money and they don't want to.
Yeah, I know people like that. That is hoard money, and I be like, bro, you can do this. Then they be like, I'm scared.
And it's old systems that they stuck in.
Yeah.
That don't come from our era. That comes from
the generation.
Yeah, like Gen X.
They passed, they feared out.
Yeah, it was like it came through us and stuff like that. They still living with old belief systems, old systems on how to doing things and the economy and all of that. and certain stuff they just can't let go.
Yeah.
To keep up with where we at right now. It's like, okay, every day is a new day. You gotta learn how to adapt. Legacy building involves adapting because that means you are aware of your environment and how it's changing every day.
We do have to adapt. Like, we still doing the same things our parents did in a whole new time. And that's like my whole reasoning for my podcast. Is like last year I was thinking about like all these different like generational curses, and I'm like, why don't our parents live for us but they would die for us? And I'm like, this gotta be like a podcast or something, because like y'all do everything but what it takes for us to flourish and thrive, because y'all are so scared from like the way y'all grew up, and we not living in them times no more. But I do want to ask you, do you think that did you go to college?
I did.
Did you graduate?
I did.
Do you think that college is a necessity for our community, or do you think we kind of like gravitated towards entrepreneurship?
I believe there's so many different routes you can take.
Mm-hmm.
College is one. You can do trade school. You can do anything, any type of schooling beyond high school for real.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can build a business. It's all about your awareness though. One thing I can only speak from my experience as far as college, when college definitely opened my eyes up and I received more knowledge on how to do certain things. It was all about regimen, you know, getting up and going and studying all the time, put myself in a position to learn more and more. That was a part of the discipline. And that's the key point. Key point that goes down to discipline. If you don't have no discipline, it's hard for you to build anything as far as coming up. If I had the choice, I might not have went to college knowing what I know now, you know, because I know other routes. You can go to trade school, learn ways to make quick money and invest. If you know how to invest your money to the point that you don't have to go through this. A lot of people are in debt from college. You could be somebody to build a business. You got to understand that the business ain't gonna always float. But guess what? If you don't know nobody else that's in business and you just go in business, you got a chance of failing. But guess what? Majority of businesses do fail. Don't mean they in, but they do fail. So for me, being in business, I went to school for business. I did learn more, you know, because I was around like-minded individuals. I was around other business people that can help expand my awareness on how I wanted to do business and stuff like that too. I seen them running businesses. We had to do like PowerPoints and stuff like that to build a business before we even had a business. Like, okay, you did a business, how would it be? This is the steps you're gonna take, you know. A lot of people ain't doing that. Some people just they observe and they seeing like, okay, they did that, I'm about to do it too. And sometimes it's that easy. Depends on if you got that hustle spirit in, you know.
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with either route. Like, I don't write off college. I did graduate from college.
You can work a 9 to 5.
Think my path, even though I am an entrepreneur, like in times where it wasn't working for me, I was able to fall back on my degree. And so that's why I like, you know, I hate when they tell our kids like just don't go. Like, it depends on what you're going for.
Right.
But entrepreneurship is very, very hard if you don't have nobody else that can like teach you the ropes or whatever.
It's important to get a mentor. It's important to sit down and link up with people that has done what you want to do, you know, people that are familiar with the territory, so that way you ain't got to just be blind at everything. And that's one thing in my journey I had to learn a lot, because I didn't have nobody doing none of the things I was doing, you know.
But that makes it hard.
It do, but at the same time, it don't make it
it's not impossible.
Right. So
but it's hard.
I chose a lot of different routes and things to do along the way. And like I said, I live for experiences. So for me, it wasn't just, I think I would have been bored just trying to do one thing for real. I think I would have been bored.
I can't do one thing.
Yeah, I'm just that creative.
I got like ADHD or something.
I'm that creative. I feel like my hands not it, but that's the real way of survival out here. You gotta be able to get your hands in different things. You definitely gotta be able to adapt. Multiple streams of income. Do this, do that, because that's the way the world operates. Operating in a web. Everything is connected. It's impossible for you to just be over here doing one thing. You mess around, the door might open tomorrow. Like, whoa, just from that. You know, you did that, but the door opened because somebody met you in that circumstance and they was appealed to it, or something resonated. Or you know what, now you over here. Boom. Now you over there. Example, you got A$AP Rocky and Rihanna. They was in the industry rapping, making their little money, but guess what? They left that and started diving into other things. Now they got way more money than what they had when they was rapping. You know? So it's important, and you might find your path from another path that you had set. That's just what it is. And I think a lot of people go to college thinking in their mind when they was in that point, that's what they want to do. And then some complete it realize, dang, this ain't what I want to do. Or they completed not being observing of that period of time that it was in that they was doing that, not knowing that that no longer suffices in today's time.
Right.
You might have been in the pursuit of something that's going down here,
Right.
and now something over here thriving. For example, you might be somebody who went to go to school, you want to be a realtor or learn real estate or something like that. You decide you want to go like California or something like that, not really paying attention to the circumstances on how everything is out there as far as the economy and real estate. Boom. By the time you get your license, you flying to the West Coast, you find out, dang, there's so many homeless people, so many people ain't got cribs. Oh, this, that, whoopie whoop, it's a competitive market. You didn't do the work to, to really be knowledgeable on what it is you're diving into. A lot of people don't really do that part. They just feel like they're gonna do it because they think they like it, or they're gonna do it because it makes bread. I feel like you should do what you love, and hopefully it make you money too.
And then you gotta know it's still the options, like whether you do. Because I remember I got my real estate license just being on some random shit, and I was like, I don't like this, and I was like, well, I'm gonna just do something else. So, but I think that entrepreneurship is important, and I think that's important to building legacies. But I do also notice that some wealthy people, because you got like the business owner wealthy people who like pass their business down and stuff, right? Then you got like other wealthy people, they still sending their kids to college. And I'm looking like, okay, well, why we keep telling our kids not to go? It got to be a reason why they sending theirs to college.
Yep, our children not going. Well, the people trying to tell the kids not to go or the teenagers not to go because they think in debt.
Okay.
But how you negate that debt is by establishing a home where you have a certain amount of income where you can cover the necessities. And if you got a student, you got a teenager that grew up going to school getting good grades, they getting scholarships and stuff, they already covered. The point is, a lot of us have made mistakes before we even got to college and had messed up grades. So now you're depending on this financial aid and stuff like that, when really you need to be having the people back at the crib financing that situation as an investment. It's supposed to be an investment. It's not an investment if it's debt, though. If it's debt automatically, though, when you're going through it, then it's
well, you know what I think about the debt? And this could be my circumstances. I went to the University of Michigan, which was like maybe like $24,000 a year. So I think my education was probably like $100K. I only had $20,000 in debt. I've had a car that costed more than that. So I was in debt with a car more than I was for college. So I'm looking at it like, that's not that bad.
But that's because of how you chose to take your route.
But I did get scholarships, like you said, because I did have the grades to get scholarships. Yeah. So that, I guess that might make a difference.
That's why it's important.
But even if you got $30,000 in debt, I don't know. I just feel like they take the debt a little too far. It'd be you're gonna make more money than, like you ain't gotta work for $20 an hour because you have your degree. I guess it depends on what you're doing.
See, now that's a whole nother point. A lot of jobs, sometimes a lot of people got degrees can't get no job in their field.
I could see that. I don't necessarily didn't have a job in my field. I studied psychology, but I was a teacher, but it still kind of applied.
It's where a lot of those fraternities and sororities come into the conversation. A lot of fraternities and sororities have more leeway in certain positions as well based on their affiliations. And that's the competitive field.
But that's also what we have to teach our kids too. Like when I was sent to college, I was just sent there. Like you got to tell them, like, be a part of organizations, network with people. Like having a network, like a college network, is like that can make you wealthy. Like to know all of these people that are doing all of these things.
I agree with networks. I don't necessarily agree with fraternities though.
I didn't join one, so I don't know what they be doing.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree. I do agree with community and connection and stuff like that, but I understand there's a lot of other things that goes on behind the closed doors as well.
Yeah, that's why
I know a lot of people personally, so
I do too. I know some crazy stories.
Yeah,
but that's why I didn't join it.
I feel like people should come together with a common goal and not necessarily operate out of secrecy, because what's coming out of the light's supposed to be shared.
Right.
Bring things to light on how you can come together and make things happen. That's what the community needs, especially in school, like the organizations and stuff like that. I just don't feel like that side of it,
Mm-hmm.
then not necessarily.
Yeah, I don't care for that side. I'm just saying for the people that is already part of it, I see like how they be like, oh, I could call my Delta sister or something like that. Like it just seemed like a good resource to have. But I like to hear other people's perspectives on like college because I be like, why y'all keep telling them that? But I also think trades are a really good one. Like I know a lot of people in trades and they make really
Electrician,
good
plumbing,
money.
HVAC, all that. Yeah, that's immediate because most people, that's
It
immediate.
don't take long to do it.
That's
But
smart.
if they good at working with their hands and stuff, because to do those, you can't be lazy.
Right.
I've seen people who say they want to do that, but then they lazy, and they like you're not gonna survive doing that if you're lazy. So
Facts. I got a homeboy here, electrician. He be climbing up poles and all that, doing all of that.
Yeah.
Then I got friends that do like carpentry, all of that.
Yeah.
Construction.
Those are really good fields to be
It's
in.
always gonna be needed. So another key point is doing something that's essential to the community. You know you're gonna always have a job because it's always gonna be needed.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of things that we get in the field of choosing careers that are in the lane of necessity. I mean, not necessity of what we want.
That's why I'm saying we done had a direction like where they parents are saying you're about to be a surgeon. Our parents like go to college, you know, and not telling us what we should be doing when we go there. So yeah, you gotta pick the right degree. Like you can't major in African American studies and think I don't know. Like I've seen people major in crazy things, and of course, like you're not gonna find a job.
And like, some of those things you can do on your own time.
Yeah,
you can study. You know, there's a lot of things you can study on your own time. I don't believe in just going to straight curriculums. Yeah. Like I say, curriculums are limited to a degree.
Yeah, I've learned more.
That's double line times right there. It's limited to a degree, meaning you're gonna get that piece of paper, but at the same time, you're gonna have this certain amount of information, not knowing it's still so much other stuff you learn.
I've learned more outside my degree. I love my experience, and I got to be like a teenager and a young adult. But I definitely studied way more after college and learned so much more shit after college.
That's life.
Yeah.
Life's experiences. You start opening up books, you know, different books and all of that. I remember when I was in college, I had an African American class, and the guy, he was from Africa.
They was so easy.
He was from Africa, but the thing was, he was teaching a lot of lies. You know?
Or was he? At that time,
a lot of lies.
I hadn't tapped in yet. So I don't know if they was lying to me or not. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know at that point.
Darwin's theory and all types of. It's just a lot of false doctrines, a lot of lies in the curriculum because it's designed to keep you that way.
Yeah,
you know? It's designed to have you with a certain knowledge because once you carry that through, it's gonna take you to a certain point. While they holding on to what you need to know, and that's getting them into higher places. That goes through those same affiliations.
Yeah.
So I mean.
I agree with that because I swear to God, I graduated in 2015.
People moving in secrecy, hiding everything.
What do you mean by that? When you say
when it comes to
secrecy,
when it comes to dealing with knowledge, with opportunities for opening up new doors for people, when it comes to collaborating and things like that, when it comes to divine precedence on certain things, like if you know something, you know something that can help get people ahead, share it.
Yeah.